not sure if,
It's 4,500,000 Iraqis who are displaced. It makes 1/5 of the Iraqi population.
Juice, she was making them, in the house. So I missed all these things.
If I get back to Iraq now, to Baghdad, I would not find most of them.
I talked to many people about my country, and I discovered that even people, they don't know where is Iraq on the map.
But it's also positive to have the feeling like you have two countries now. I feel like American people also need us.
For me, I think what they really need is a one-to-one orientation, like a family connects or sponsors a family.
Everybody, has different power, and everybody has different capacity, so they can help in different ways.
Portland is calm, cozy, quiet, courteous people. Cozy might not mean the weather.
ما عندك شيء تخسره بعد. That's in Iraqi. Means you have nothing to lose anymore.
ما حك جلدك مثل ظفرك. In Arabic we have this saying, I don't know what's the equivalent in English, but we say literally, like nothing can scratch your skin more than or better than your own nail.
I'm 44 now.
Yeah, I'm 38.
I'm 48 years old.
I was born in Baghdad, Iraq.
I was born in Karrada.
I was born in Baghdad, and I was born in the western side of Baghdad.
Baghdad divided into two parts by Tigris River, and we live on the east side. So Karrada is close to the river, very close. It's very old, old neighborhood, and back in the history, there were only Jews. They built their own houses, and it's almost like palaces.
It was my grandfather's house. It was a big house in a kind of classy area, let's say, of Karrada. It's called Arasat al-Hindiya. The Iraqi people, especially the old ones, used to live in extended family settings. And so it was a big house. I mean, was to enjoy my time there. But then
my family, they were against, Saddam and the Ba'ath Party. And my father was arrested, and he disappeared since I was 10. And we didn't know what happened to him.
People were already exhausted of the war with Iran.
I
of
left
the
Iraq
First Gulf
before,
War and the
when Iraq was that time under economic sanction. Sanction really the situation that was very limited in terms of jobs and to everything. Like food, when they get milk, they go to the hospital. The hospital, they don't, provide the right medication.
It became a reality that war is going to take place.
Now, it's very from both
People
sides.
were,
You have to have it.
most of them, afraid. We started saving food.
In fact, I started to work as a translator, interpreter for
It's like independent
the
social worker.
US and Iraqi government.
I'm working as a qualified mental health professional.
I worked as a reporter because I was giving information for the media. Big gardens in the front and at the back.
I miss my
We have
evenings
big
in
troops
the
because Iraqis,
Union of
but
Writers
in
the
the olden times, not now. Then we bring, the
gatherings there,
mattress,
sitting there,
and we try to arrange, place for everybody. And when we were kids, but not after that. Yeah, people, they don't do it anymore.
Baghdad roads and streets and avenues are characterized as being very broad ways, like
Only the
it's like in
very poor people.
And in the
who
middle
can't
of
even
each and
afford,
every
to pay for the
Broadway,
taxi that
there's a
takes
kind
them
of
to Jordan.
either
These
flowers or trees. So I used to see the U.S. tanks and
Do something, I need lights.
And
Sometimes,
if you go to Iraq, you will
roll
find
over
like the
that,
mother Sunni, the father
flowers
Shia,
and
The car.
nobody can
vice
accept that.
versa.
And there are
Hasn't been
bodies,
a problem.
people screaming in the hind back of this car, and I want to see what's going on, and there's this, torchlight. I just didn't do anything.
It's a very harsh situation for any man
I
to
left
see,
Iraq and I went to Jordan.
that to see himself that he's incapable of doing anything to help his, his family.
And I stayed in Jordan, I think a week or less.
They refused to come with me to the farm. They said, well, if we're gonna die in our house, so let's die in our house. We cannot leave it.
I was separated that time from my husband.
And the youngest one left Iraq by the late 90s. So I was alone.
She told me in a very halting voice and in a very frightened words, you have to come now, right now. I said, hey, what's going on? She said, I can't explain, just come now or you won't find us, we'll be all dead. In 5 minutes, I was at home. I did not realize that I was driving, I think, 150 kilometers an hour, and then in 30 minutes, we put everything in the car, all the already packed suitcases in the car, got my wife and my 2 kids in the car and run to my parents' house. And the same day, according to 3 of my very close neighbors, they called me and said, well, Ahmed, your house was riddled with bullets.
Cluster bomb is when aircraft drops a bomb that actually spreads into multiple bombs all over a large area, so it's considered a mass destructive weapon. It's internationally prohibited, but we were shot with 2 of them.
It was difficult. It was very difficult. You will find maybe 10 families live, different disaster.
I moved to Jordan, and although I was hesitant and reluctant at the very beginning again, but my daughter was only 3 years old at a time, and she used to be very afraid at night.
This family, all the men in the house, the Ba'ath party came and they took, all the men, and they left only, the mother with 9 or 10 daughters.
Later on, we managed to admit them to colleges in Amman, so they came in, but I haven't seen them for 2 years now.
How can I quit my job as an NBC producer in Baghdad and go to nowhere, go to a vague
He
future?
went
Don't
crazy
know
and he
what
just
am I gonna
disappeared. He
do?
left the house
Don't know where.
because it's difficult for the father to see his family in this hopeless situation and he cannot do anything. It's really difficult.
Jordanian authorities would not give me the access to the
No, I don't think there are any people in the
territories.
world who would accept that, being occupied by another country.
She got shot at by a U.S. soldier while she was going to work. She was driving with her and having her friend with her in the car. She was driving to work, and there was a military U.S. military had. It seems like one of the U.S. soldiers was very afraid of the ladies driving behind him, so he shot at them.
First became the issue of oil.
There was 300 people killed, only in 1 minute.
They got the
I
second
just shot
shot.
down. I didn't know how to place it.
Nobody
They
thinks
went
like that.
off in a freezer.
Baghdad means where we got to know each other, where we met, where we had dinner for the first time.